What's up guys, it's DJ Rides. The whole purpose of this video is to give you a realistic time expectation of what it's really going to take to install these. I'm not super mechanically inclined. Projects like this kind of intimidate me a little bit, not gonna lie. We're gonna start it today, see how far we get. So this is everything that I have, and this is everything that you should need. So all I got was the MORIMOTO C-light kit. Comes with the actual C-lights themselves, and then these little guys and these clip connectors. And then the only other thing that I bought is MORIMOTO adhesive that's gonna go on my headlights when I'm putting everything back together. But yeah, so just to pull the front bumper, you're looking at about an hour by yourself. All right, so the bumper was actually a little bit more work than what I thought. So overall, it's gonna take you about an hour and a half to get it off, and you should probably do it with somebody else. Reason being is you have these wires that are connected to your fog lights and your turn signals, and it's just really difficult to take one side off at a time and unplug the wires without the other side falling down. So what I actually did, my camera strap, what I actually did is I put a wrapped tire underneath it on one side just to hold it up while I undid the wiring on one side. Those clips are really tricky. I don't know why I have such a difficult time with clips. If you have ever replaced a carpet in a car, you know that the most annoying part is all the electrical stuff underneath power chairs. So anyway, about an hour and a half to take the bumper off. Now I'm gonna take the lights out. So taking the headlight off honestly took me like 5 minutes. 6 10mm bolts, and then this one little push pin that's gonna be over here. And then it just comes out, and then you just have to unplug it. All right, so I got one of the headlights completely prepped for the oven. So I have this these rubber O-ring gasket things out. That was super easy to take out. You just pry them up from underneath here using a flathead. I took out all the wiring and all that junk. That was also like a 10-second task. And then these bolts, there are 5 of them, and what makes it so difficult, I don't know if this is gonna show up, but these bolts have this like locking grease or something on the end. Makes them really easy to strip, and the only way you can get them out is with a Phillips head screwdriver. So make sure you're using a really fine tipped Phillips head. Wow, this is having such a hard time focusing. Alright, so this is the part of the video where I'm brutally honest with you guys. I've been working for about 45 minutes trying to get these this plastic separated from this housing, and it's just this adhesive that's in here. Now I don't have a separating tool, maybe that's my problem, so I've been using 2 flatheads, and I put them close to each other and then gently move them farther and farther apart and just pry. I'm very careful that I'm not breaking any plastic, but it's just next to impossible to get these guys separated. There are a couple times I know it came really close to starting to warp or separate, or sorry, not separate, crack the plastic. So they were in the oven for 8 minutes each at 210 degrees. Alright, so I'm taking another shot at this. This time I got my oven on 225, and I'm gonna stick them in here for 8 minutes. So, headlight. We're really getting somewhere now. I was able to get both headlights apart, and this one completely disassembled, ready for the C-light and painting. So I'm gonna paint this now after I get the other one disassembled, so I'm gonna paint them both at the same time. Disassembling it after you get them separated is very easy. Took like 5 minutes. Getting them actually separated was by far the most difficult part, second to taking the front bumper off. Something to keep in mind, you know, get a friend to help you if you're really uncomfortable. I had to put the oven at 225. It doesn't work any cooler than that. It's just way too difficult to get these separated. I haven't really seen anybody post anywhere about how to do this. Maybe there's some video out there that has like less than 1,000 views and I just haven't been able to find it. But this is how you test it. So you plug in your C-light into the wiring and fitment that came with it. So it'll have like this little guy. This is for your directional. I'm not going to test the directional. I'm just going to test to make sure the actual light itself works. So I did a lot of research on this because I was super confused between the different videos for the installs for people with HIDs versus normal headlights and whatnot. And I was like, what, do I have to like splice these wires, and what do I have to do? What you have to do is, not in your side marker bulb, but in your other bulb, take it out, and this guy plugs right on into it. The polarity and the does matter, so I think that's the right word I'm looking for. So you might have to flip it over to get it to work, but that's what we're going to do right now. So I'm just going to plug this guy back into the headlight, turn on my car, and then plug this guy into the correct spot and make sure that it works. Alright, so both of these work. So one thing that I did that's a little different is, instead of ordering smoked side markers, what I did is I just put a strip of electrical tape right over where the actual bulb is going to come through. So you definitely still have light from that side marker. I'm still going to pass inspection because I still technically have a side marker. There's still light being emitted. It's just much smaller than this massive thing. And I've tried the tint overlays before too on top of the headlight, and they really just look unprofessional, and I don't think they look that great personally. Alright, both headlights are completely back together. Well, kind of. I still gotta put in all the wiring and the gaskets. That's pretty much it. Got one in the oven. Gonna put this one in the oven next, and it took me about an hour to do all that. Alright, so I have the lights completely finished. So that's the time that it took me to get everything reassembled, put in the oven, taking it out of the oven, tightening everything up, putting these 5 bolts back in, putting the wiring back in, getting the wiring all set for the C-light. And the way that I did it is I just ran it right out of this little gasket right here, right where you put the flathead in to pry the gasket out. So that all that's left is put these back on the car, T-tap into the directional, and then plug this in, and then put the turn signals, and then put the front bumper back on. I'm actually really happy with the way these turned out. I think it looks really mean. You can see where I put the little tape for the side marker. It gives it a completely different look. I'm really happy with it. Alright, I'm just about done putting the headlights back on. See, I got this one back on. Everything works. It's a much easier putting everything on than it is taking it off. But before I get this one all the way on, I just wanted to go through a couple things that I noticed that you gotta watch out for. Mainly, so if you get the Morimoto kit, there'll be these, the orange wire which goes to the turn signal, and you use a T-clip to clip right into this blue wire right here that's connected to your directional. That's why this wire is extra long, so it can reach there. But I had no idea what to do with the actual C-light connection, which is what I mentioned earlier in the video. I thought I had it figured out. I just want to clarify, it's the light with this plastic bit, and that's what you want to connect to. It's taken me like 20 minutes to get the lights back in, including the wiring, so it really doesn't take a lot of time. It's so much faster putting everything back on as opposed to taking things off. If you don't just like take your sweet time like I did, this part definitely will take you like an hour and a half. The only reason why it took me closer to 2 is because I really took my sweet time doing it. You'll notice my license plate isn't back on and my fog bezels are off, and that's because I have a yellow tint overlay that I'm gonna put on tomorrow, but because it's almost 10 o'clock right now, I'm not gonna do it tonight. But all in all, I think these guys came out just amazing. I love them. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. As always, thanks for watching, and once again, this video is really just supposed to be how difficult this project is. This is not a walkthrough. There are a million different walkthroughs on how to do C-lights on a 2015 WRX out there. So if I skip something and you're looking forward to me showing something, I'm sorry, but this wasn't a walkthrough. This is just a how difficult is this project to do? Is this something that I can do by myself with little mechanical experience? So overall, I think it took about 6 hours of work. You definitely appreciate the mod more when you do it yourself. Granted, if you're worried about cracking your bumper or really screwing up your headlights, then it's always just better to have someone else do it. But if you think you're up to the challenge and you have some free time, I definitely say go for it. Alright, thanks for watching guys, God bless.